G'day guys, my name's Dave and welcome to another Guitar Zero to Hero song tutorial. In this lesson, I'm going to teach you how to play All Too Well by Taylor Swift, which is an amazing tune. And I'll also teach you the extra chord progressions that you need if you want to play the 10-minute version as well. For the basics of this song, you'll just need your guitar in standard tuning and you won't need a capo. Now, if you want to master your chords back to front, then be sure to head over to guitarzerotohero.com to pick up my free guitar ebook. Or if you want to improve on your guitar in general, then sign up to Guitar Zero to Hero Premium, which is my complete step-by-step guitar course. Let's jump into the lesson. Now I'm going to start by showing you all the acoustic parts to the regular version. Then I'm going to talk about the extra parts that you need to learn if you want to learn the 10-minute version. And then in the third part of this video, I'll teach you all the lead electric guitar. Okay, so let's start with the strumming pattern that's going to be used basically throughout this whole song. And it's really simple. It's just all down strums at 8th notes, followed by a quick up strum. So that means 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and a little bit quicker. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and we're just going to repeat that again and again throughout the whole song essentially. So the strumming pattern is really simple. Let's take a look at the verse and chorus chords, which is also used in the break as well. And it's a really nice and easy 4-chord chord progression. Now don't let the name of the chords below trick you. They're actually a lot easier to play than their regular counterparts. So we first off have a C chord, and then we go to G at 11. So from the C, you just move your ring and middle finger up one string. So 3rd fret of the 6th string, 2nd fret of the 5th string, and you keep your index finger where it is. And we're just gonna strum up to the 2nd string. So you can keep that 1st string muted. That's G at 11. Then we go to A minor. So keep your index finger where it is and put your ring and pinky on the 2nd frets of the 4th and 3rd string. Strumming from the 5th string there. Now, if you want to mute that 6th string, you can just use your thumb to lightly touch that 6th string so that when you strum all the strings, only that A minor rings out. And the final chord is an F sus2. So again, keep your index finger where it is, put your ring and pinky finger on the 3rd frets of the 5th and 4th string. You'll leave the 3rd string open, and with your thumb, ideally if you can, just reach over the top to hit the 1st fret of the 6th string. And that's F sus2. Now, if you can't get that thumb over the top, then if you play those middle 4 strings, that's still fine. So C, G at 11, A minor, and F sus2. I've watched a couple of Taylor's acoustic live performances, and these are the exact chord shapes that she uses. So we apply the strumming pattern to each one of those chords, and the verse/chorus sounds like this. And that's just repeated again and again. That's most of the song. So next we get to the pre-chorus, and it's quite simple. There's just 2 lines of chords here. So it's worth noting that the pre-chorus in the studio version is a little bit different to the 10-minute version, and I'll explain the 10-minute version pre-chorus later in the video. But for the studio version, for that first line of chords, it's the same as the verse and chorus, but instead of going to the F sus2, we're going back to a G at 11. And then for the second line of chords, we have our F sus2, G at 11, A minor, and back to our F sus2. Now you'll notice that in the second line of chords, the F to the G at 11 and the A minor to the F, they're both contained within the one strumming pattern. So they share one strumming pattern, and the point at which we'll change between those chords is on the 3 beat. So the second line of chords sounds like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And the pre-chorus in total. Next we get to the instrumental section, which occurs after the second chorus. And it's really simple. The first line of chords is the same as the verse and chorus, but for the second line of chords, we're just playing the G at 11 for 2 strumming patterns. So the instrumental. The final thing to learn in the studio version in terms of chords is the bridge, and there's just 2 lines of chords here. So our first line of chords is the same as the verse and chorus, repeated through 4 times, and then the second line of chords, we just add an extra bar of that F sus2 that will take us into the final chorus. I'll play that first line of chords through once just to demonstrate it, but mind you, in the bridge, you'll have to play it through 4 times. So it'll sound like this. Those are all the rhythm parts for the regular version. Really nice and easy. So now let's take a look at some of the changes that occur in the 10-minute version. Now, the main chord progression used in the verse and the choruses are the same, so nothing new to learn there. For the pre-chorus, there is a difference between the regular version and the 10-minute version. So the difference occurs in the second line of chords. So the first line of chords is the same, but for the second line of chords, we stay on this F sus2 for 1 full bar, and then for the second bar, we stay on the F sus2 and then go to the G add 11. But the point at which we'll change between this F to the G add 11 occurs on the end beat after the 3, not the 3 beat. So that F to the G add 11, 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and the pre-chorus for the 10-minute version. Now for the 10-minute version, the bridge actually just is the same as the verse and chorus. There's no extra bar of F sus2 there. But where we do add an extra F bar is for the end of the 4th verse, which is after the bridge. So just make note of that. There is 1 extra bar of F at the end of the 4th verse. Okay, so the next part that we need to learn for this 10-minute version is what I call outro part 1. Now this begins where the original song actually ends. So it's added onto the end of the song. So for the outro part 1, there's 3 lines of chords. The first line of chords is the same 4 chords that we had in the verse, but just in a different order. So we have C, A minor, F sus2, and then G add 11. Now our strumming pattern is going to change a little bit here too. It's going to go down, down, up, down, up, down, up at 8th notes. So the first line of chords, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Now for the second line of chords, it's at F sus2 for 2 bars, and then G add 11 for 2 bars, and then for the third line of chords, it's back to the F sus2 for another 2 bars. So that's it for outro part 1, which is actually quite simple. So I'll play that first line of chords through just once, and I'll run through all the 3 lines of chords. So it'll sound like this. And then outro part 2 is just the same as the first line of chords of outro part 1, but we're just repeating that again and again till the end of the song. And those are all the parts that you need to learn for the 10-minute version. So let's just run through the differences between the regular version and the 10-minute version. The first difference occurs with the pre-chorus. So the pre-chorus, the second line of chords is a little bit different. Then the bridge in the 10-minute version is different. We don't end the bridge with the extra F sus2 chord, we just continue on into the 4th verse. And in the 10-minute version, at the end of the 4th verse, that's where we add the extra F. And then the next things to consider are outro part 1 and outro part 2, which are just tacked onto the end of the song. So that's pretty easy to remember. Now I'm going to teach you all the lead guitar parts in this song, and they're all quite manageable, so very suitable for beginners to learn. So let's start with the intro, and there's just 1 line of tab here. We're going to start with the 5th fret of the 2nd string. This note happens on the end beat after the 3, and then we're going to go down to the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. On the next end beat, we have 2 more notes. It's back to the 5th fret, and then we go to the 5th fret of the 3rd string. And we hold that out into the next bar, where we have another 2 note section, which goes 5th fret of the 2nd string, and then 3rd fret of the 4th string, which is held out. And then the next 2 note section is just the 5th fret of the 4th string twice. Now this last 2 note section changes in terms of timing a little bit. We're gonna start that 2 note section on the end beat after the 4, so and 1. So 4 2 note sections there, really simple. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 1. Now for the second half of this intro, we're going to repeat those first 3 2 note sections. So that one, and that one. And then to end this, we're going to just play this 5th fret of the 4th string 4 times. So and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... So that's it for the intro, which sounds like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 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 and 4 and Next, we get to break number 1, which is really simple. It's sort of based around what we already have with a few minor exceptions. So we're going to start with the C note here, 5th fret of the 3rd string. And then I like to, with my pinky, go to the 3rd fret and then slide up to the 5th. And then down to the 3rd fret. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. On the next end beat after the 3, we're going to do that slide again, but then end with the 5th fret. So back to that C. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and... On the 4 beat in this bar, we then go to the 2nd fret of the 4th string, hit that, slide it up 1 fret, and then end with the C note. So the last lick, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and break 1 in total sounds like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Alright, the next lead lick happens after the bridge. So we're going to actually play our riff, but in an octave higher. So we're going to start up at this E note here, 12th fret of the 1st string, and then down to that D, which is the 10th fret. And we start this on the end beat after the 3. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. On the next 3 beat, we're going to actually slide this index finger up to the 12th fret and then 13th fret of the B string. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. On the end beat after 4, we then go down to the 9th fret of the 3rd string, hit that and slide up to 10th. With our pinky, go up to the 13th fret of the 2nd, down to 12th, and then 10th fret of the 3rd string, 9th fret to end this lick. So this final lick, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and the post bridge lead in total, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 the final lick is in the outro. And we're going to start with our pinky finger on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string, hit that, slide up to 5th, and then 5th fret of the 3rd string, 5th fret of the 4th string, and then slide that down to 3rd. So it's all one smooth motion. You only pluck 3 notes here. So once on the 2nd string, slide up, once on the 3rd string, and then pluck on the 4th string and slide down. Make sure the timing is at 8th notes as well. Don't just slide really quickly up. You're gonna hold it, slide up on the 8th note, so 1 and 2 and 3, like that. So now I'll be doing a full playthrough of the regular version of All Too Well. If you want to play the 10-minute version, I've taught you those extra parts. I'll leave a link in the description below to the chord chart and the lyrics for that 10-minute version as well. So it's easier to follow along to if you want to be playing with that mammoth song. But as I said, I'll just be doing the regular version in this playthrough. So feel free to play this back as many times as you'd like to practice, play along to, and see how you go.
Something about it felt
Thanks so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this lesson, then I know you'll absolutely love these other lessons too. So hit the link here, or if you want to grab a copy of my free guitar ebook, then head over to guitarzerotohero.com or click the link here. Thanks so much, and I'll see you guys next time on Guitar Zero to Hero. Cheers.